Bonjour and welcome to La French Tech on Air, our European video podcast series on business and technology. In Europe, La French Tech ecosystem is made of 27 communities that are connected to the French tech startup scene and creating bridges with the European tech movements. My name is Romain Rebour and I am the president of La French Tech Krakow. I will be your host and moderator for today. So today we have Marc Harion. Hello Jean-Marc.
Hello Romain, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Very happy to be with you today. So Jean-Marc, you are the CEO of Play, the first mobile operator in Poland, and you are also the CEO of UPC, the first internet provider in Poland as well. So Jean-Marc, just give us some few words about who you are and what you are doing in Poland.
Good, with pleasure, Romain. So I've been in Poland for 4 years. I arrived in July 2018, and I've been an expatriate for something like 20 years. If I count well, I worked in 8 or 9 countries on 4 continents. So in the US, in the Dominican Republic, in Belgium, in Egypt, in the UK as well, of course, a little bit in France. I studied in Belgium, where actually I was born, and in Germany before completing my studies in France. I created companies, then I started discovering the telecommunication world. I've been working in the telecommunication industry for something like 25 years. And I've been the CEO of Play, and which has now become the Play Group for 4 years.
Wow, that's impressive. So you are both an entrepreneur, plus you have been and you are still a director of a big telco company like Play. And we are very glad to have you today in Poland and in this podcast. So can you tell us a little bit more about Play? What's the story of Play, how it was born and what it is today as the first mobile operator in Poland?
It's an incredible story, and I can tell it because, of course, I'm only part of the last episode of the series and not the last one, fortunately. But Play was created in 2007. By a bunch of investors, a mix of private funds and entrepreneurs. And it was the fourth operator in Poland. So, of course, at the beginning, it was a kind of desperate move. Everybody was predicting the rapid death of Play. But Play not only survived, but succeeded in becoming the leader of the market, because at the time the Polish market was very close. It was a kind of oligopoly with very high prices, and Play arrived and disrupted this market and made the mobile communication affordable for everybody. So definitely the purpose of Play is to make things possible. It's to make the communication services affordable for everybody. And that's why we were able to become number one starting in 2016, 2017. And the company was introduced, and it was a listed company when I joined Play. But a very fortunate event happened at the end of the company in September 20. The company was acquired by Iliad Group, and it was quite fortunate because the existing shareholders, which were of course only minority shareholders because the company was listed, wanted to exit, and we were looking for an industrial operator, and Iliad is the perfect match. And by the way, Xavier Niel, who is the 100% owner of the Iliad Group, has recognized publicly that Play was his inspiration to launch free mobile in France. So we have a very good, that's true. That's very funny, and that's as well one of the reasons why we have a very good DNA match between Iliad and and Play. So Poland has become the second most important country in the Iliad group. Iliad is the sixth operator, the sixth bigger telco operator in Europe, and we represent almost 30% of the revenue. And in Poland, and of course the group is very supportive to develop the company, which is the reason why when we came with the project to acquire UPC, we were actively supported by the shareholder, by Xavier, by the management team in Iliad, because they saw the opportunity for us to become not only a mobile operator and the number one mobile operator, but to build a mobile and fixed convergent operator in Poland.
It's funny because we see a lot of similarities between the stories of Play, UPC and Free back in the days when Free was a disruptor in the French market and provided cheap prices for internet and mobile associated to a box. And today we see this replication on Play with UPC. So it's pretty interesting to see that in Poland. And just to confirm, today Play completely merged with UPC?
No, not yet. It will take probably another 9 months. We've become the unique 100% shareholder of UPC on the 1st of April. After 6 months of anti-compete investigation by the European community. So it was a pretty short process compared to other anti-compete investigation, because of course we are competing in Poland against integrated convergent operators. So it was just a combination of one mobile operator with a fixed operator. But the purpose we have and the reason why we made the move is definitely because we see that there is a potential for us to continue this disruption in the market. Today, the fixed market in Poland is not very well balanced because, of course, not all the networks are open to all the operators, which is the case in France, in Spain, in other countries in Western Europe. Here we have some local monopolies and as well some protection on infrastructure. So what we want to do is really to give the Poles the freedom of choice and the ability to access the broadband connectivity that they need wherever they live. And this, of course, requires to change the rules of the market. So what we are going to do after acquiring UPC is to open the network of UPC, put it in an independent company and open it to all the operators, but as well accelerate the development of this network in fiber. And that's what we are in the process of doing. We have created the fiber company at the end of June, and we will launch it commercially early 2023. And the purpose here is, of course, to accelerate the development of the fiber on an open model and align the entire market, meaning create new market standard in order to make sure that everybody in Poland can access a fiber quality internet in their home, apartment, or wherever they live, in a cabin, in a tent on the beach, wherever, but at a price that is affordable for everybody, and without this restriction monopoly, because on the fixed, which is not the case on the mobile, but on the fixed, you have as well a lot of, I would say, blocking points, supposedly technical, but we can say obstacle created by the operators to protect their monopoly. So we want to disrupt that as well, and we believe that we have a good chance to do it because so far the integration with UPC has been a success. We are moving very fast. We are a very lean company, so we are moving very, very fast. 7 weeks, not even 50 days after the acquisition, we were launching the first offers together, and with a good success on the market. But the financial and legal merge will not happen before probably Q2 next year.
Wow, so it's already a lot of common project. Congratulations for going so fast from merger, acquisition to deliveries together. Actually, from our side, as a French person, for us it's normal to have mobile and internet offers together, but this is new in Poland, so you are already on this field, and that's great. You're going very, very fast. Actually, I'm just in a project to buy an apartment, so you will have soon your first client.
Let me know. I will send you a special VIP service. But there is as well something very important, I believe, in making this move today in 2022. It's because we are seeing an acceleration of the shift in the customer behaviors, and especially related to television. So it's really fascinating to see how the television watching behaviors are evolving, and it's not anymore only a question of generation. So of course UPC basically genetically was a cable operator with a very rich TV offer, and it's still very appealing for a large number of families in Poland. So we want, of course, to continue doing that. But in parallel, and before acquiring UPC, Play had launched a pure OTT service, which has been a surprising success for everybody, because it's a small box that you use with whatever connection that you use for your internet at home. And we have collected more than 300,000 customers in a period of 2 years. And we want to continue developing that, because of it corresponds to another behavior, probably more your generation. But, that's the way that I consume my television as well. It's about the VOD, SVOD, the streaming. And here you can see that there is a multiplication of the streaming platform, meaning that there is a competition in this new market ongoing. The competition is especially vivid in Poland, where HBO, Netflix, etc. are very strong. And we believe that we need to preempt this market, offering the customers, once again, the freedom of choice. The two offers are not contradictory. By the way, we recently acquired, we didn't make a lot of publicity about it, but we recently acquired at the beginning of the summer another company called Reg, small one, but specialized in the development of TV streaming platform and box firmware, working not only in Poland with all the TV operators, but as well in Czech Republic, Croatia, Baltic countries, Israel, and so on, and developing quite fast, because we believe, and this is one of the things, other things that we have in common with Iliad, that there is a lot of value in the development of the interface and the customer experience, and the way we make the content, TV content, available to the customers.
All right, so it's not just providing the network and the infrastructure, but also making sure that the services are available for customers through different layers, different levels. I wanted just to come back to what we were saying about Iliad, because Play and UPC were acquired by Iliad Group. When Iliad is arriving in a new market, usually Xavier Niel wants to propose a school, which is an IT school, one of the best in France actually. It's called École 42, so School 42 in English. Is there any project in Poland about importing this model and importing this École 42 on the market?
École 42, School 42 is not related to Iliad. It's a Xavier Niel project. Xavier Niel is the 100% owner of Iliad. But Xavier has multiple lives, and one of his lives is, of course, to foster the passion for coding and disseminate this passion in the world. And that's what he did by inventing this new concept of School 42. School 42 was created first in Paris, but now they have School 42s in something like 36, 40 countries around the world, and it's developing. I believe that as we speak, Xavier is announcing with President Macron in Algeria the creation of a School 42 in Alger. And School 42 is a specific concept because it's based on a very special and unique pedagogical library, plus kind of peer-to-peer learning system to encourage the students to help each other and to learn. And it's very practical. So it's about coding, but then of course the exams are about hackathon and this kind of things. It's very efficient. So the students are selected through a quite hard process, meaning a logical test and so on. But it's open to everybody. So it's open to everybody, but you need to succeed in passing the test. You can be 18, you can be 60, you can have had another career before, or you may consider joining School 42 as your first school. It totally depends on you. And they like to mix the population. And to answer your question, yes, of course, we would like to create a School 42 in Poland. So I can reveal to you that next year, hopefully, we should open a School 42 in Warsaw.
So, in a way, École 42 is also disturbing or disrupting the market. So, in a way, it also participates to the maturity of the Polish tech ecosystem. It's a new model, new way of working, new way of learning how to code. And these new methods are quite needed in the local ecosystem to grow and to be a big part of Europe and even worldwide ecosystem around innovation. Just to know, in France we have this big flagship for the tech ecosystem we called Station F. And I just wanted to know from your vision if there is something similar existing in Poland. Actually, just for the information of our auditors, Station F is a big hub of startups and incubators, investors, VC centers, and public entities, also created by Xavier Niel in Paris. So, Jean-Marc, is there any similar structure you can see or imagine in Poland?
Station F is unique, and it's a French specificity. So I don't know if it makes sense to consider replicating it. Today, that's not, as far as I know, it's not Xavier's intent to replicate it. Station F is an ex-railway station that he bought because it was abandoned by the French Railways Company, the SNCF. And he turned these huge buildings, warehouse, to repair the trains and so on, into an environment where you can find, basically, as a start-upper, all the services that you can need during the creation and the first stage of development of your company. Even a restaurant, which is the biggest restaurant in Europe, by the way, because in order to feed more than 1,000 startups, you need to have quite a lot of logistics. And these startups are sitting in the center of the building, but close to them you have all the major investment funds, the major companies interested in nourishing the startup ecosystems, and even some French government offices to facilitate the filling of the forms and the fulfillment of the legal obligations of the startups. And the beauty of the mechanism of Station F is that I had the privilege to visit it by the best guy, which is Xavier. As a startup, he knows that perfectly, and I know that as well because it used to be my reality some time ago. You have an idea, you position yourself in a certain way, but then, of course, as your idea materializes and matures and materializes, then, of course, you are changing the angle. And you can do that in Station F because you have environment areas which are financed by schools, by public organizations, by some companies. And to give you an example, for instance, if you have an idea of healthcare app, you can sit first in an area related to the technology that you are going to use. Then you will move your desks. Literally, you will move your desks to another area called more for healthcare, etc. And then you will discover that your positioning is less about healthcare, but more well-being. Then maybe you will be invited to join the L'Oréal area where some well-being applications are developed. And you can move from one place to another one. And it's a really interesting mechanism. So for all these reasons, because it's related to the French ecosystem, to the of course the power that Xavier, the image that he has in France and his awareness in the French society and so on, I believe that Station F corresponds to a French reality, and I don't know if it can be exported. It hasn't been exported yet, and I don't believe that is the intent.
Yes, I agree. It's all about the network, and I have some clients in Station F. It's crazy how they go from an idea to another one, and just by meeting new people, and it goes very, very fast. It's very interesting area
Exactly.
and environment. And by the way, the French Tech headquarters is based in Station F, so it's a place where I know very well. Each time I'm in Paris, I'm passing by this area. And I encourage every startup going to Paris to
Exactly.
visit. It's another world and a beautiful one.
That you mentioned.
I have to say.
French Tech,
and just going forward, talking about UPC and Play and UPC has a social impact. You are providing internet and mobile network. So definitely without you or without the companies like you, our world would be very different today. So thanks to Play and UPC, our economy can work because everything is based on digital capacity and telecom network. So you have already an impact on social lives, but I heard also that you are quite invested in environmental and ecological area as well as a humanitarian level. Can you tell us a little bit more about this societal impact of Play?
Yeah, I believe that, as I told you, we believe that our purpose is basically to guarantee the availability of the fastest connectivity to the largest number of people. And, I don't believe that maybe a little bit arrogant to say that, but I don't believe that the Polish society would be exactly the same without Play and without UPC, because UPC has disrupted the market, I would say, being the first to bring the first the 1 gigabit connection, etc. So it's important that we understand this role, because we have a responsibility to make sure that for Poles, connectivity will always be affordable. And this is, I would say, exactly the same for free in France and for Iliad Italy in Italy. So we have this in common. And it comes with, of course, a lot of thinking given to this responsibility, because of course it obliges us to keep our structure quite agile, and because it's the agility and I would say the efficiency that guarantees this low price and huge quality. And in the meantime, it obliges us to make very drastic choice on a day-to-day. So we are very disciplined compared to other companies. Saying that, yes, we have a role which is a role to the society. We play this role. We are, of course, very conscious about our impact on the environment. And this is, of course, even more important for us since we have become part of the Iliad Group, because Iliad Group has taken commitment to be zero carbon emitter in 2030. And of course, in Poland, we need to embrace this objective, and it's much more difficult because we are using a much more carbonated energy everywhere, but we are working on it. We are diversifying our sources of energy. I try to set the example. I'm probably the only CEO in Poland to use public transportation to go to work. So I don't use a car in Poland. I take the train, the bus.
Yeah, that's true. I confirm. I saw you taking the tram,
yeah,
so you're definitely a user of public transport.
And by the way, I'm always asked by my employees how to go from one point to another one because I know the public transportation. And then I would say that recently, with the war in Ukraine, we've seen as well the critical role of telecommunication operators. So we have a lot of lessons to learn from the Ukrainian situation. First, I have to say that I'm very proud of my teams because, 6 hours after the beginning of the invasion, we were launching the first offers for the Ukrainian refugees arriving in Poland, because we had been alerted not only by the authority but as well by our people near the border, and some Ukrainian families had started arriving in Poland. And the first thing they needed was, of course, to communicate with their family and friends remain in Ukraine. So we decided to offer free packs and send people. So we had more than 200 volunteers who went to the border to distribute these packs, etc. And of course, we set a new standard. So everybody did the same. And as a result, of course, there was absolutely no problem of communication for the Ukrainian after arriving in Poland, but which is less communicated because less visible, and until recently it was even a little bit sensitive, is that we have done a lot as well to help the Ukrainian operators, and upon their requests, because they were needed our help to maintain their infrastructure. Because, as you know, and this is one of the lessons I was referring to, one of the tactical advantages that Ukrainians have in Ukraine against the Russian army is the communication. They don't use any proprietary system. They have decided to mutualize their network at the beginning, and they can use their communication when, of course, Russian people are dependent on the Russian GPS. They don't have any roaming, so it's more complicated for the Russian to communicate, and Ukraine can take advantage. So that the Russian decided to target and to bomb specifically the antennas and the platforms. Antennas are very difficult to get down because you can shoot at dozens of thousands of antennas around the country. So we can cut some of them, but not all of them. Then they started bombing the platforms, and what we tried to do was to help the operators by creating some backup of their platforms in safe places. So that's what we did with all the operators, so that they could restore their service as soon as possible. And we have been respondent. We have been the point of contact of many Ukrainian operators because they know that we are reacting very fast. and we are very glad to have been able to help them in this way. On top of that, of course, we did many things, but all the Polish companies, and especially all the Polish citizens, and yourself, Romain, you helped the Ukrainian. We did what we thought we had to do, and it's still our duty to do that, to help these neighbors and very close neighbors of Poland. But the war in Ukraine has demonstrated two things. First, communication has become absolutely critical in tactics for an army, especially when this army is fighting on its own territory. And then, of course, the protection or the restoration, the repairing of the existing telecom infrastructure is becoming not only even more vital than usually. And on top of that, and it's not the first time I've seen that in my life, there is a solidarity between the telecommunication operators, because we share this awareness about our duty and the importance of what we are doing.
Yeah, you're right. The mobilization of Polish people and Polish companies were just incredible. Me, I had my network. I used my network. Play UPC had the network capacity and the infrastructure to support our friends from Ukraine. So basically the process was which kind of capacity, which kind of weapons I have in my hands to support our brothers and sisters from Ukraine. So no, it was a beautiful time about the help we saw in Poland, the mobilization. We'll close this podcast on this notes. Jean-Marc, do you have anything you want to add to this podcast before we're closing?
No, just maybe to thank you for this opportunity and the opportunity to make some comments about our role in the Polish society, in the society in general, or social responsibility. Maybe as well to conclude that telecommunication in Poland is very important for French companies, because between Iliad, Play, and Orange, we wait for more than 50% of this market. So telecommunication in Poland is a French, I would say, it's a French thing, and we are very proud of helping the Polish society to develop, and will continue in the next years.
Indeed, you're right. We have a lot of French companies in the telco market, and I'm glad to see the collaboration between France and Poland around this really innovative area with a social impact, which is completely essential to our society, providing internet, providing mobile discussions and communications. So definitely glad to have you here with us, Jean-Marc. So thank you everyone also for being with us. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Jean-Marc Harion, the CEO of Play and UPC. The session is available on video and YouTube, all the audio only and global podcast platforms. Follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube to be updated about our next episodes. Thank you very much, and à bientôt.